Hi, Bill. Joe Bidwell here again with Mankato Ford, walking through some of the radio features here with you. The first thing I wanted to touch on is the buttons above the radio screen. The first button that you'll notice here is for a diesel exhaust brake, so you'd press that to activate that. The next button over is for traction control, so you do have the option to shut that off. Typically, the only time you might use that is if you are doing some off-roading, or if you're driving, say, in a field or something along those lines, you might need to shut that traction control off. Otherwise, that system does take care of itself. In the center, of course, you got your hazard lights. And the next button over is for your lane keep assist. So as you are driving, when you have adaptive cruise control on, the truck will actually monitor the lines on both sides of the road. And if you start to veer outside of that line, the truck will actually help pull you back inside of that. And then the last button here is for your camera. So by selecting that button, the first camera it's going to pull up now that I'm sitting here in park is going to be the bed view. When the vehicle is in drive, it will actually pull up, you can pull up your reverse camera as well as the camera systems in the front of the truck as well. In terms of the radio, this is your home screen right here. And what's nice that Ford does here is you do have your navigation screen set up right on the screen, in addition to your audio information. And if you've got your phone selected, that'll appear here as well. You do have the heated steering wheel button. So that, they actually don't have a hard key. That will always be turned on right in the radio screen here by pressing that button. Across the bottom here, the first key is for your audio. That'll, of course, pull up. Let's get this muted here real quick, sorry. That'll pull up your radio information. So AM, FM, and you do get 6 months free of XM radio as well. By selecting the sources button here, that's how you can toggle between your AM, FM, Sirius radio. And then if you do have your phone set up through Bluetooth, you can actually play music straight from your phone right through the radio without having to connect that, all hands-free. I just wanted to show you how to set a preset here as well. So you've got your tuner knob right down here on the bottom, or you've got the option of a direct tune, which you can just type in the radio station that you want to listen to. Once you're tuned into the station that you want, all you have to do is press and hold on any of those buttons across the bottom. It will beep, and now you've noticed that it's saved. And you will notice that there's two little dots here as well. You can actually swipe and you can pull up another 6 presets. And as you can see, you can also save AM, FM, XM all right on the same set of presets, so you don't have to go through the different sources to access those. The next button over here is for your climate control. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. Obviously you've got your hard keys down here, but this gives you an option of adjusting it all through the radio. And the reason they've done that is so that you are able to keep your eyes closer to the road rather than looking so far down to adjust the controls and the hard keys. So you've got access to all that right through the radio screen here. The next button, this would be where you go to connect your phone to the radio. So you'd hit add phone and it'll walk you through the prompts. If you do have any issues with that, feel free to give me a shout. I can certainly walk through that with you as well. But once your phone's connected, that's going to pull up text messages. You can read that while the truck's in park. You'll be all your contacts list, everything will be accessible right through the radio screen here too. The next button over is for your navigation system. And so you've got your search button up here. That's where you're going to go to access or to put in the address that you're looking for. So it'll actually save a lot of most of the addresses that you put in before. You can save a home and work address in here as well. Favorites, and then this last button here is points of interest. What I like there is that if you are on the road, you can look up local food, travel, banks, shopping centers, entertainment, all sorts of information that you can access right through that navigation system, right through that radio. One of the greatest parts with this radio system is all of this is also able to be done via voice control. So by pressing your talk button on the radio, you can press that button and say an address, or for example, if you're looking for a particular restaurant, you can tell it to find Taco Bell, and then it's going to give you prompts here on to find the closest Taco Bell, for example. So it's great that everything's accessible all by voice control as well, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road in order to do that. You'll notice that the buttons on the bottom of the screen disappeared. That's to give you a better look at that map, but you can hit the controls button here to pull up those buttons once again. This apps button next to your navigation. Once you have your phone connected, there are some apps from your phone that you can actually access right through the radio as well. things like iHeartRadio, Pandora. I believe there's some podcast apps and things like that as well that you can add to the truck. So if there's something in particular that you do listen to quite a bit, you can add that app right into the radio. Last but not least is your settings button. I won't get too much into detail with this. This is pretty well self-explanatory for the most part. But the one thing I did want to point out, if you go to the vehicle button here, this is where you would go to program a new door code. So you've got the buttons on the outside of the door. You might be familiar with that from your last Ford, but you can lock and unlock your truck right with the buttons from the door. The factory code I will have in the owner's manual for you, but you just enter in that factory code, and then it'll give you the option to add a new code, something that might be a little bit easier to remember. You do have some hard keys for the radio as well. Obviously your volume control here, and then this button will turn the radio on and off, and then your tuner knob on this side. Here you can select the different presets. The media button will toggle back and forth between AM, FM, XM radio, Bluetooth. And then, of course, you can go through your presets with those arrow keys as well. So that's kind of a quick run through on the radio. But again, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a shout. Happy to answer any questions I can via phone. I can shoot you a video, email, whatever works best for email on that end. But I'll have, I believe, just one or two more videos coming for you yet. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks, Bill.